everybody, and welcome back to Sanctum Stitching, where modern meets vintage. I'm Fawn.
I'm Marianne.
And I'm Sean.
Look at us, we got it all right. Good the first time.
Yeah. It's perfect.
Exactly. So as you can see, Sean is back with us. Sean, if you're new here, Sean is my husband who has also started stitching. And as you'll see in our haul, when we went to the stitching shop, sometimes he buys more charts than I do. So that's not
Well, it keeps you working on something. That's what counts. Enjoying doing it. That's what matters. Yeah.
Well, the best part, and when we get to the chart, I'll show you, but I didn't want to stitch it, but I liked the chart. And so I convinced him that he needs to stitch it. So now I'll get the stitch chart in my house, but I don't have to spend the time on it.
That's right. Doing her dirty work.
Yeah.
Is that the same one that you had already done part of and want him to do the other part? Or is that a different
it's
Oh,
another
this is
one.
another one.
Oh, has she broached the
Another
subject
pattern.
of the other pattern that's she's done half, now you get to do the other half? Okay. Whoops, I
Exactly.
let something slip, didn't I? Whoops, that's out of the bag now.
Actually brought it to show.
I did bring it to show.
Okay, good.
Started to do
Okay.
that. Yeah.
So we usually start with our celebrations. Marianne,
Yep.
what are you celebrating this week?
Well, we've had sunshine all day. I'm celebrating a nice gift from Fawn. I'm mama to critters, so I don't usually get something that says thank you for being more maternal. So I did. I'll show that later. And I guess just celebrating that we think spring is going to come to Northwest Ohio.
Well, you're our amateur weatherman. Is it going to be nice now?
I think it's going to be nice for the foreseeable future.
I hope
think
so.
Winter's finally gone.
I hope
well,
so.
we'll hold you to it because it's on video now.
Oh.
Yes. I hope so. Jay Birchback is saying possible frost warnings for tonight, but they said that last night too, and I don't think it got cold enough. Maybe it depends on
We'll
where you are.
see. Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully
I
the
hope-
snow is going to go away for the foreseeable future. Hopefully we won't get till winter until we get, any more snow. But as far as the frost, maybe we'll see.
Okay. Sounds good.
Sounds good.
What about
How are
you
you
two?
celebrating?
What am I celebrating? I'm celebrating the fact that it's dark after 9 o'clock. So
Throws me off.
yeah. Sometimes when I'm stitching, I'll be looking up. I'm like, oh, I didn't know it was still light out, and it's 9 o'clock. So I like the longer nights. It just reminds me that summer really is here, and it just really brightens up my evening and stuff to know that it's later and later every night. So yeah.
Meanwhile, for me, I'm like, is it dark out yet? Can I go and get in the bed? Or
Right.
So
You can
my
go to bed.
celebration
Yep. We'll let
is
you.
back last September, we went to North Carolina, Sean and I, with my parents. We rented a beach house and we spent a week with them, which was so nice. And we went on a very small fishing charter. It was just me, my family, and including Sean and my family. The way I phrased it in my head, it sounded like I had kicked you out. And it was like me and my parents that went.
Yeah.
Yeah, she left you on the shore, huh?
Yeah, I slept on the beach.
There you go.
So all four of us went. We'll phrase it that way. And it was just the captain and the deckhand, and we were out there for, was it like 12 hours, 13 hours?
12 hours. Yeah.
We were out there all day, and we didn't really have much luck. We caught a couple things here and there. And then finally he's like, okay, we're going to throw the line out one last time and on our way back, and we'll see what happens. And that was the exact moment that me caught a sailfish. And he said it had to be like 5 feet long.
It was approximately 5 feet long, is what you were saying.
It was so big. And the whole story that goes along with this, in North Carolina, when you catch a sailfish, I don't have any proof of it, because when you catch a sailfish there, you're not allowed to take it out of the water. And I didn't know that. And so he's like, go get by the edge so you could see it. And so and Sean's got the camera ready, and I'm just like standing there. He's like, turn around and look at it. I was like, but the camera. And he's like, do you want to see your fish or not? I was like, yeah. And so then I realized I was like trying to sit on the edge of the boat, and they're like, no, don't sit on the edge. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening. Like, reeling in that sailfish was exhausting.
I bet.
It would, my legs burn from like bracing myself, my arms burn, my shoulder I thought was gonna fall off. And so now people are trying to tell me to do things. I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
So anyway, I look over the edge and there's this beautiful sailfish. It's so long. He had the whole like its mane essentially extended. And I got to see it for like a couple seconds really. And then we had to let it go. And so we didn't get to take any pictures of it. But I got to actually get into, what is it called? The North Carolina saltwater fishing tournament by catching this fish.
Oh,
And yesterday in the mail came a certificate and I was so surprised.
cool.
See that?
Isn't that nice?
And so the fish itself is like printed on here really, really nice. It's kind of raised.
Yeah.
And it said that North Carolina saltwater fishing citation, fawn cap landies, whose catch has been judged exceptional. So I got an exceptional fish in North Carolina and won a trophy.
Good for you.
So that's some like real random celebration for you today.
And she worked hard for that too. Like I
I
said,
bet she
really for a good 10, 15 minutes. She
I
was
feel like I blinked out at some point.
right.
You're like, real? I'm like,
Well, those things they're very strong. You
They're
know, when
very
you think
strong.
about it.
and
Yeah,
it would start to pull the line out after I would start to get it back in. I'm like, no.
no, don't do
Now, not to berate any other fish out there, but this is not a marlin. A marlin only, we
Right.
found out that the marlin only has the fin on a partial of its top dorsal, but the sailfish, however, has it the entire body. So,
Yeah.
So the marlin
Interesting.
kinda, like,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
actually bigger than the marlin itself. So,
Wow.
this lady,
Yeah. Good
you
job.
made it work.
Good
that made
job.
the whole 12 hours worth it for me
Yeah.
because it was like 11 hours and 59 minutes when we caught that fish.
Yeah, because that thing jumped out of the water like a good 10 feet, I would say.
I bet.
The distance when it first came up.
And
So
that's like
It did not
seaweed
want to be
distance.
Yeah.
caught. It was saying,
Exactly.
put me back, put me back.
Yeah,
I got
Right.
babies
And
down the
I would
road.
want to keep it anyway. I would want to release it,
yeah.
but I didn't know you couldn't even lift it out of the water because in Florida, my nephew catches them all the time and they can always take it out, take a picture and then put it back. So it's just really different laws for different states. It's interesting
Yeah.
to learn about.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
you never know. They may have had a lot of people not thinking, put them back. You
Yeah.
know,
Right.
you never know. Somebody might have said, oh, I'm going to keep it anyway. And
Yeah.
there you
Yeah, and
go.
then you think out there, like, well, who would know if I lifted it out because there's no other boats around, but I'm sure they know.
Mhm.
So
Well,
like
the
real
captain
good
wants to keep,
not microscopes, telescopes.
well, but the guy that's doing that boat that's taking you out on that trip, he wants to keep his license to be able to do that. So,
Yeah, of course. But that's what I'm saying. Like you
Yeah.
would think that he
Yeah.
might say, oh, well, nobody's around, but I'm sure there
Uh-huh.
are people and boaters around seeing things that you don't think
oh
they're
yeah,
seeing.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he would warn you so that even though he might think, yeah, it's okay, just real quick. Nope, because those things weigh a lot. It would
Yeah.
take quite a lot to even get them up out of the water to hang there and say, oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah, the deckhand, the helper guy, he was struggling just to hold it
Uh-huh.
against the boat for me to look at and like get the hook out. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
whew,
Oh man,
wild.
well, good for you. Hang
Yeah,
that on the wall.
I will.
We
My
will.
dad said he's gonna get a frame for it. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay. All right. So I should probably get to stitching. It's been a couple minutes.
That's all right.
Marianne, do you have any new starts?
I don't have a new, no, I don't have a new start. I didn't get a new start. Well, I started something and finished it. So it's
Okay.
either, yeah, so that's how that works.
We'll put that in finishes.
Yes,
With-
that's what I figured.
I started and finished something and I didn't bring it over. You know what it is? With the butterfly.
Oh my
You want to
goodness.
grab it?
Yeah, it's over here.
It's right over there. Okay. So I can do my new starts first that I haven't finished. And so I talked at length the last time about this one. And it is Baby Boars and Japanese Flowers by Gara.
Yeah.
This is what it'll look like. The top one is the one I'm working on.
Mhm.
And I got a nice little start.
Oh, cute.
So I got one of the boards done, most of that flower. I think I have a little bit of the green leaf left to do.
Mhm.
And then that's pretty much the lower left-hand side, I think. Or no, the lower right-hand side was mostly done. And then I'll be able to start working on the rest of the baby boars. And I did not want to put this one down.
Nope.
I was actually very, very upset that I had another new start planned. And because I planned to do it with someone, I wanted to like honor that, you know. But I was like, oh, I just want to bit the baby boars. So I made sure that I got one baby board done before I moved on.
Very good.
I love the fabric that it's on too.
It's
Oh,
pretty.
It really
It
makes
is.
that boar pop.
That's what we should probably be doing more of, is saying what we're stitching on. And I don't have the tag, but I'm pretty confident this is Color and Cotton Aurora, and it was part of the Fabric of the Month Club, and it's 32 count. So we always forget to say that.
I'm terrible at it. I can't. I need to make more better documentation for mine.
Yeah. Well, it's just like when you're working on it, it's second nature. Like, oh, that's just the fabric I'm working on. So you don't
Right.
think to say it. But then when somebody's new or hasn't seen it before, I'm sure it's helpful for them.
That is a pretty color for that, because it goes nicely with the colors in the pattern itself.
Oh, yeah. So then the second new start I had was Frogwart's Year One Band Sampler by the Black Needle Society.
Yeah.
And so I'm stitching this and started it on the same day as Sarah, who is Sarah, or Memphis Sarah E on Instagram and Flosstube, which if you're not watching her, go watch her. She is adorable. Every time she has a new video, we immediately stop what we're doing, we go watch it. And my favorite part, and I don't know if she knows that she does this, but it just feels like something I would do. She films on her couch. And so when she goes through and she shows something, she finishes it, she like chucks it behind her and it just lands on the couch. And then it starts to pile up on the couch. And sometimes it starts to slide down. And then you hear her dog, because her dog sits right next to her every single video. And he's usually out of frame, but he's right there. And so I just imagine all this stuff like starting to fall down on top of her poor little doggy.
Yeah, because he's not a real big doggy.
He's like teeny
Little
tiny.
bitty.
But that's my favorite part of Sarah's video. So
Yeah.
I know you watch these, Sarah. Don't ever change that, please, 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 because I look forward to it every time.
Done with that one. Start with another one. Yeah.
Yeah. So before I show the pattern, I will show a project bag that I made. And so this has
Very
Harry
nice.
Potter fabric. It says the Marauders map on it.
Mhm.
And I'm a Hufflepuff. So I have the badger right here, and the inside fabric is all of the houses. It's really hard to show the inside of a bag on a video.
No. Where did you get the fabric, sweetie?
Just at Joann's. They have
okay. They
tons
have
of
all
Harry
the-
Potter. They
Oh,
have
okay.
Star Wars, The Office. If
Okay.
you at ours in the Reynolds Road one, it's not just by like all the seasonal sort of fabrics. If you keep going a couple aisles and go past the fancy fabric, it's sort of
Oh,
tucked
okay.
in there.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I missed it the first couple times.
I didn't know whether you shopped at that one or if you ever go to the one on Monroe Street, which is there off of Talmadge and just between Talmadge and Secor, I guess.
Yeah, I
Stop in the
prefer the
mall.
little one because it's more convenient, but we go to the Monroe Street, which for us is the bigger one.
Mhm.
If I'm trying to get those rubber embroidery hoops for
Yeah.
framing, because
Yeah.
the little store doesn't carry it. And then if you're ever in Findlay, Ohio, they have like the mega Joann's store.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's not very far from Craft Gallery, which is our local needlework shop. And every time we go to Findlay, we go to the Goodwill, which is right down the street from the massive Joann's, because
Oh.
that Goodwill has all the nice clothes. Like I've seen Michael Kors in there and all sorts of stuff. And then we go to the big Joann's and spend too much money.
I've never been to that one before. Interesting.
Yeah, it's probably like 4 times the size of Reynolds.
Yeah.
The one on Reynolds.
Yeah,
It's
well, the
really,
one
really
on-
big.
Yeah, the one on Monroe is a bigger one than the one on Reynolds, but I found that people, they're nice in all of them, but it's amazing. They never seem to quite have enough people at the checkout. All of it. Only when suddenly the line gets really long do they get somebody.
Yeah, and it always gets long when you're going to check out,
Right,
like
yeah.
there's never anybody there and then everyone checks out at once.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So anyway, back to
Very nice. Thank you for telling me where to get the fabric.
So here is my start.
Okay.
So I have the Sorcerer's Stone in there, the start of the broom, the start of one of the 3 heads of Fluffy, and Alahomora. And then, and then this part will be the key.
Okay.
Let me show the pattern again. So
Okay.
I'm a center starter, and Sarah started hers in the top left.
Yeah.
So it was fun to see. She started over here. So it was really fun to see like how hers looked so different than mine, even though we started on the same day. And I should say what it is. Nope, that's not it. It is stitched on Picture This Plus 32 count Belfast in the color sand. That's not the color they called for, but the store I went to didn't have that. So I went to the closest second, which was sand. But once again, did not want to put it down. So this is part of my StitchSania plans where I get a new start on the weekend and I work on my whips during the week. And so I had 2 new starts last weekend, but that was only because Harry Potter didn't start till Sunday. So obviously I need something for Friday and Saturday. So that's how Baby Boars got to slip right on in there.
Okay.
Sean, you have new starts.
I do have new starts. I have a few new starts.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a little while, right? All right, I don't know which one to do. I'm going to start with this one that I started last weekend. And this is by Plum Street Samplers and is by Paulette Stewart. And this is called Teeny Weeny. So,
Cute.
Yeah. So we got a couple little wiener dogs. I love the fact that there's one standing on top of the other one. So
I love it so much.
right. So I didn't get too much started on this one, but at least have a part of the fire hydrant. Yeah. And a couple of the motifs as well. So
Very nice.
Yeah. So
kind of see.
So you can kind of see where I started there, kind of in the middle there with the fire hydrant. This one is a little bit smaller fabric size.
He's stitching on 18 count Ada, and it's a mystery color that we just had in our stash.
Right.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which this is a long pattern. I was surprised. It's only 63 high, but it's 158 wide.
It's kind of long, you know.
It's very deceiving.
Right. So yeah, so I started that last week. And this past weekend, I started on another one of the Plum Street Samplers by Paulette Stewart. And this one is Raccoon Ravel, is what it's called. And we absolutely love the pattern. And this is the one that Dawn said that she wasn't going to stitch it herself, but she would love to see it stitched.
Actually, it's not.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, I take that back.
This one, the real story is I bought this for myself last year, and somebody stole it from me.
I just saw him.
Borrowed it.
I borrowed it. Yeah.
But that's okay. I really want to. I'm not going to get to it anytime soon, and I really want to see that baby raccoon all the way on the tippy top stitch.
Yeah. I just love the fact that they're standing on top of each other. If you see kind of groups of animals just standing on top of each other, I'm going to stitch it.
Well, that's
go for it, Sean. Go for it.
10 or 12 in this series of all foxes and sheep and pigs. Everybody standing on top of each other.
There you go. Perfect Christmas present for him. Just keep
So
going.
I didn't get too much stitched on this, but I at least got part of the vine up here at the right where the top raccoon is.
She's walking on.
Yeah, correct. But I like the green so far. It's kind of like a forest. I don't know what it's actually called, but I do like the color green. It reminds me of like a deep like forest color. So
what's the fun fact about that fabric?
The fun fact about this fabric is that it's actually glow in the dark. So
Oh, really?
yeah, if I can, I wish I had a light to shine it. But yes, so it does have bits of glow in the dark pieces on there. So I just thought we thought it was going to be a really nice fit with it, just because they're raccoons.
I was gonna
Sometimes
say the raccoons out of
sometimes
there.
they're dumpster divers. It'd be really cool to see it all like lit up and stuff. So
Oh, man.
I have to see if I can get a picture after it's all done when it's fully glow in
We'll
the dark.
figure it out.
But we'll figure it out. So, but
Yeah.
yes, that is glow in the dark fabric.
Yeah, and I don't know who makes it.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he's stitching on 28 count, but the glow in the dark is, if you ever order glow in the dark fabric, at least whatever this one is, it really does glow. And the way that the like specks of glow in the dark are on the fabric, they don't get in the way of the stitching at all.
Right.
So it sounds intimidating, like, oh, that's going to be like hard to stitch on. It's not. It's super soft.
It's very easy, you know. And here's a fun fact. Okay.
Fun fact on your chart.
Yeah. Did you know that a male raccoon is called a boar, a female is a sow, and a baby is a kit? A raccoon family is called a gaze or a nursery. So there you go. Fun fact of the day for if you love raccoons.
Paulette's fun fact.
There you go.
Exactly.
All right.
All right.
So move on to whips.
Move on to whips.
Sure.
What have you been working on?
I made some progress even more on the
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
outside
Okay.
Christmas. I realized, you know, I had put the border on the sides and such, and I thought something's wrong with this. I haven't done all the stitching on the sides, but I had stitched the border in. Well, there wasn't room enough. I thought something's wrong. There's not going to be room for all the lettering and then everything below. So I've taken out, that's why I've stopped it here. I went back and took it out all down here because I had it going across and stuff. So I don't know what happened with the count, but anyway, I think it's enough now that, because I've still got a little bit under here. So I think everything else will fit. But I got my 2 bells in and I got all this wording in and
Yeah,
finished.
letters
So,
always go quick once you get to them.
yeah. Yeah. So, and then I've got the people to do, and then more borders and all that, snowflakes and all that stuff. And I got out my Susan B. Anthony the other day, trying to think about what to write. Some of Denise said I could use some of her wording she had done. And I was trying to think about what to do, what color to do it in. I like the green that's on the pattern, but Joe said he thought it was too light to do, you know, it's a real light green. So I haven't, it's the green that's here by the house.
Hold it up and to your left. And then
It's by
up.
the house. Can you see it?
We're at the top of your house.
Okay. He says he
now-
thinks that's too light. Well,
Yeah,
I'll send
hold-
you a picture of it.
Hold
Let
it
me
back.
fold
There
it
you
over.
go.
Okay. He says he thinks that's too light a green. And then when I thought about it, putting it up in over this lettering, over these flowers, you know, probably wouldn't look too good. I don't know. It looked
Maybe
all
like
right
a
on
forest
Denise.
green would be good.
What, sweetie?
A forest green?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That, or I even wondered, and Joe said, well, why don't you try it and see what it looks like? I thought maybe take one strand of the reddish and one strand of the blue and
Yep.
blend them together. You know, you stitch them together. And I thought about just putting Susan B. Anthony up here and 19th Amendment in the years. I don't know that I'm going to put it down at the bottom because there's not as much bottom left as there is top. And I plan to give this to my sister. And I thought I'd make it into a pillow for her.
Oh, okay.
That or a tote bag sometimes, but I don't know that Midge is into totes as much as I am. I love
Well, you
tote
know,
bags.
I'm on a make a pillow kick, so that's my
Yeah,
vote.
I know. I know. So anyway, I just love looking at it like this. It looks, it's all done. So I've got to do the lettering, but that was one of my trying to figure it all out where it would go and stuff like that. And I cannot find my notebook I had of paper of graph paper anywhere. I don't know whether I threw it away by mistake or what. So I need to get some new graph paper so I
Gotcha.
can do that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm totally spacing on her name and her YouTube channel, but her Instagram, I'm pretty sure is Moon Pie Fry.
Uh-huh.
And she has a needle minder shop and a Flosstube and everything else. And I think she's down near Cincy, but she's also stitching this pattern. And what she decided to do was at the bottom, she's stitching Susan B. Anthony's signature. So it's like all cursive and it's really cool looking. If I see it, I'll have to send it to you so you can look at it.
Yeah, because I know Denise in this star thing here above the house, she made it more like a badge. And she put Susan B. and then suffragette or whatever, so up there in that. She didn't, and she had a flagpole coming up in front of the house. So that was a difference there. She really adapted it to her. So anyway, so that's kind of like a work on working on both of those things. And that's all. I didn't get to Beatrix Potter this week. I kept saying I need to go in and work on Beatrix Potter, and I would go in and sit down and stitch on my
yeah, well, you got to get your one chair that very specific stand, so you have to be in the mood for it.
Yes. So there you go.
Awesome. What did you work on?
What did I work on?
Since you've been here last.
Well, since I've been here last. All right. Well, not too much. I have a couple of finishes, but we'll get to that later.
Which I think are new starts and finishes for you.
Yeah. Well, I can go throwback to my Halloween pattern. This is what I'm actually working on for this week. For Mania. I have not done this one in a very long time. This is the Halloween pattern by Autumn Lane, and it's called Lost Soul Cemetery. So this is the one that has a lot of like full coverage on the bottom here with all the blacks and the blues. And this one I think is going to take me probably till the end of Halloween here. But it's just one of those ones I have to just like put on a podcast and just plug away for a while. But I was able to get some more of the branches up here. I got a couple of pumpkins, partial bat here, but I was able to just put that on my rotation for this week for part of Mania. So that is,
you made some good progress. Yeah,
it's slow to start. It's really fun for me to stitch the black again. I sometimes with all of the ones that have multiple colors, you just switch out and stuff. And this one I was able just to put black and
don't have to think as much.
Don't really have to think as much.
Right.
So that was really nice.
Just sit there and listen to whatever you're listening to, and
Yeah, exactly. So again, this is the Autumn Lane. So as you can see with the comparison to the actual chart, I have quite a ways to go, but it's a pretty big hoop, so usually I've been stitching a lot of smaller projects, but it was nice to go to touch on this one for a while.
May I ask you something about that? That fabric you're stitching it on looks like it's a white color. Is it?
Yeah, there's actually it's a bluish white. There's a lot of blue that's mixed in right here.
Okay, I see.
You can't really catch the light, but it's more of a.
Because I was able to see the ghost a little bit, but I noticed you had lots of white things at the bottom of your pattern. The stones and stuff, and I thought, are they going to show up okay? But since it's got some blue in it, they will. I can see the ghost showing up.
It's pretty subtle and stuff, but
good.
I believe this is 18 count as well, so or 16 count.
And it's a Picture This Plus fabric. I'm not sure the name of it though.
I am terrible at the names of the fabric. That is something I have to learn, but that is one of my.
You're making progress.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you're stitching, that's what matters, right?
Yeah, exactly. And this one will go throwback. I have not worked on at all, but I'm going to show it again because I love it.
Well, you've worked on it since you were last on here.
Since I was last on.
That's been a while.
Yeah. That one, I love it too.
These are the birds.
Yeah.
The birds. So
Thank you.
they're wonderful. I have to do some of the back stitching for the beak on this one, and then I have to do the wings and the beak on this one, plus the eye. But I mean, I love them. you know.
I'm glad you have it to do because it would have taken me forever to get to it, kiddo.
Exactly. So I just love the fabric that it's on. I love the cattiness of the birds.
Yeah.
It's just, so we're gonna get that done next time I come back home.
Okay.
We'll see it fully finished.
So I was looking at, and this is a chart by, I can't remember the name of it.
Goodness,
but
I can't think of her name.
We've shared this in other videos, and we've definitely shared the name on Instagram. But I was looking at other charts by this
Barbara,
designer.
Barbara Anna, I believe.
No, it's not Barbara Anna.
Never mind what I
Your
said.
next one you're going to show is Barbara Anna,
Okay.
and you have been religiously trying to remember that it was Barbara Anna. So you just got too excited.
It's Barbara Anna, okay?
They're all Barbara Anna.
That's okay. They're all Barbarians. Okay.
Right.
But they're on 123 Stitch. They have a lot by her, and so in some of her charts, she had taken out just one or two of these birds and put Santa hats on them. So
Oh,
if you're
cute.
really into the bluebird, you can take, I think maybe this one or this one, and stitch it with just a Santa hat.
Oh, cute.
Interesting. Yeah. But I love that one just because of the color variation. That was one of the first ones that I've had that much color switch over, and
There's a lot of changing in one little
Mhm.
tiny area.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, absolutely. All right.
So I've been working on a couple things, and I can't remember if I showed this last time, so I'm going to show it again.
Okay.
And this is my Owl Force Embroidery 100 owls. And so, have you seen
Oh,
this
nice.
before? So I'm starting in the center. I'm almost done with this owl. I have a little bit more of it to go right here, but then I think it's pretty much done. There might be a couple of floaty flowers in there. But this part, this little rectangle with points, somebody's probably kicking me, like saying that it's an octagon or whatever it is, but it was super annoying. So there is in here, you can see all the blank spots, and the blank spots to count around, I kept messing that up. And if they're not left blank in the right order, they're not going to form like the wings on it. And so I just had to keep doing it over and over again. And I was doing it in just half stitches. So I didn't like do a full stitch and mess it up, and I still got it wrong. So it's not right. It's not going to ever be right, but it's going to look enough like an owl that it's fine. And then the same thing happened up in the eye. And because it's all white here, you can't really tell, but he's got one fat cheek and like one normal cheek. So we're just going with, not all birds look the same. Everyone is unique, and it's
hiding
inside this circle. So that's all that matters. It's not like its cheek is over here or something.
He's chewing gum and he's got it over in his cheek. That's what he's doing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. And I don't have the fabric name with me. It is on 16 count Ada, and I shared that in our past videos. Let's see. Oh, that was in this project bag that I made. And so this is made out of a flannel material.
Okay.
It feels so nice.
And it's got a bright blue on the inside. So I know at least all the project bags I've seen or have tried to make in the past, everyone seems to use just cotton fabric. But Joann's usually sells the flannel for like $1.99 or $2.99 a yard. And I feel like people overlook that because what are you going to do with flannel? But you can make a project bag, and it's very thick and sturdy, and it just feels really soft.
Very
So
durable.
don't bypass the flannel thinking you can't do anything with it. You can definitely make a project bag.
Yeah.
So then today I started working again on Zodiac by Clouds Factory. And this one will be the death of me. I have messed up his tail over and over again. He's too fat. He's not supposed to be so wide. But once again, everybody's unique. He fits inside the circle. So maybe that's my problem. I stitch on things in circles, and then they get all messed up inside the circle.
Okay.
But I'm starting to get there.
You know, we wouldn't know unless you tell us. So he's just there in the circle, so you don't need to
I
worry.
know, and I'll always tell myself too.
I know.
So I'm
Are you
getting there.
using
My
a
goal.
light? Is the problem seeing the right number of holes or something, or?
Yeah, if I stitch really early in the morning when the light is coming through at just the right angle, I can see it perfectly.
Okay.
And even with like white underneath me or whatever, it still gets a
Mhm.
little difficult at night.
Yeah.
So I think that was part of it, but then I think I also just messed him up trying to count
Okay.
around because his tail of the other one comes in right here.
That's
And
all
I
right.
think that's where I messed up, was like basing the tail off of
Yeah.
here and then trying to get this. And so it's fine.
Well, he's just sitting back behind that tail. That's what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What was it? So I'm stitching on this week for StitchSania. We both get a new start this weekend. Sean's working on the Halloween piece for the rest of this week. And so my goal is to get this stupid circle done. And there's like a little motif that goes here, which is like this Quaker motif. And that Quaker one, I messed up. And you can see it's off center in the middle. And it's the exact same one that's got to go over here. So we'll see if the one that goes over here looks like this one or looks like how it's supposed to. So stay tuned. And then if I finish those early enough in the week, I'd really like to get the rings for the next month done. Even if I don't fill them in at all, at least get those started and on their way. Because I had originally really wanted to keep up with this every month and do like one set per month. And then March Madness happened and this got left behind. And then right at the end of March Madness, picked this up, got annoyed with his fat body. And then it's been in the corner ever since.
Yeah.
In the naughty corner.
Yeah, I'll see you later.
Yeah. So I need to get past this one and I'll be okay again.
Okay. Okay.
I love it. Just like a note, like the fabric color is just wonderful. I love it just because it like reminds me of the nebulosity of like the blues and stuff like that. It reminds me of space. So I
Yeah.
think she's doing a fantastic job. I can't imagine doing all those rings and all those circles, but she's been doing a really good job with it. So
I know. I know.
definitely.
Just takes time,
Yeah.
Exactly.
diligence.
Patience. So the last whip that I worked on is Leshy by the Witchy Stitcher. And so this is my Forest Guardian, which is ironically in this cute little cat bag that I made.
Cute.
This
You
is
just- oh, and look
another
at that with the-
single one.
I love the blue zipper, the turquoise zipper.
It's got the turquoise again on the inside.
Yeah.
This is the flannel material. We've decided that this little guy with the bow tie is our kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say about this?
This
Totally blanking.
same as your mask.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
you got it. We
Yeah.
got it. So I really love this fabric because my very first pandemic mask was out of this fabric. And so once I saw it in the store, I was like, oh, I have to get it. And so this is sort
Such
of
a great
my
project.
pandemic remembrance piece.
Yeah.
And then gets this demon in it.
Oh,
so
my.
I've seen this before, Leshy by the Witchy Stitcher, and he's like pretty intense looking.
Yes.
So he looks really evil here, but I guess the story of him is he's more of a trickster and he's a good guy. He tries to like protect those in like the woods and the environment, but if you mess with the woods, that's when he gets to look like this.
Okay.
Super cool pattern, I think, by the way.
Yeah.
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 And it's part of a series, so there's Baba Yaga and Kikamora. If you really like this one, there's two more. And so this is what I did. So
Wow.
I worked on this for Stitch Mania for a whole week straight. So I think it was Monday through Friday morning, and then Friday night is when we started our new starts. So I got all of the center done, or at least the center of the first page.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to work on the tree. And I wanted to, when I did the Kikamora piece, I left all of that black for last. So I'm really trying to not do that to myself this time. So instead, it's a 4-page pattern, and I'm working on the top 2 pages. So that's why there's such a cutoff right here. And so I'm gonna have to, this is half stitched right now. I'll have to go back, cross it over, and then there's a moon, and then the tree repeats on the opposite side. And then there's a little bit of like confetti stitch, just like stars and things like that on the inside. But
Remind me why you're doing the half stitches, so you can get the structure in there kind of, and then go back easily enough. Okay.
yeah, because I really like just sometimes not having to look at a pattern whatsoever.
Right.
So especially if like we're visiting with his family, or
Mhm.
I'm supposed to be paying attention to something, I will just go back and cross over, and I don't have to
Okay.
be counting or get
Yeah.
messed up.
Okay. I thought
Plus,
so.
it makes me look like I get so much more done than I've actually finished.
But you know, you could, even if you chose to, you wouldn't have to necessarily make the final cross either. Sometimes, you know, if you wanted a lighter look or something.
Yeah, definitely. But I love
Cool.
him. He's got this little mushroom on his back, which I
Yeah.
thought was really cute.
It's a nice little touch.
There is the very start of a mushroom down there.
Okay.
So I just think I think it's a cute pattern.
I
Some
think
people
it's
think
pretty
it's
cool.
real creepy, but I'm like, oh, look at him.
Oh, I say they're creepy, but they're interesting. You're like, "Hey, okay.
All right, so finishes. We're getting
Yeah.
there.
I'll show you all the piece I finished. Here's the finish for the sampler that I did for Habitat for Humanity.
Oh, that looks
That's
nice.
really cool.
Maria and Christine and I got together, and Carol Ann on the phone got together last Wednesday. We went out to lunch at Applebee's. Woo! It
Oh
was
my
exciting. I know. And we had found different patterns. This, the one that I'm using here is not the one we're actually going to do. The shape of the people and of the house is going to be a little different. We found out that EGA actually has a pattern that you can use of the logo, that it's a little broader and thinner. But this was from one that Donna Gotts, who's in our guild, gave us from her group in Florida. We also found some from a group in it's the Capital Stitchers in New York State, where they had done this similar border on the ones they did. So we liked the border. So, and hearts were added, and I wasn't going to put the hearts in, but I decided, okay, I would. But we've also changed the lettering to where it's going to be just more straight. I think when this lettering was designed, it was maybe to make it look like a house, you know, like roofs and stuff. There are some alphabets out there like that, but mine is a prototype of, this is some of what we're doing on the others, but we wanted to get a pattern that everybody could work from. And Christine has this wonderful thing called PC Stitch, which is you put it on your computer and it will it will chart a pattern for you.
Mhm.
So we went out there and we chose some print that we liked for some fonts for the stuff. And the one that we will wind up doing, if other people sign up to do this, will probably, if you want to, it'll probably have two hearts. It'll have a heart here too. And like I said, the house will be wider. These
Mhm.
people will be a little thinner. But we're just putting the family name and such. So this is my start and finish in a week and a half. I had it
Wow,
all
that's
finished,
great.
and they said, but you need, and you talking about doing tricky sort of things. What I did for the border was I went on and did all the blues and got them all in there, and then went
Mhm.
back and added all the greens. And because mine was a different size, kind of from the one I was looking at that Christine had printed off for me, I had to go back and figure, okay, now where is this going to fit exactly? Because I wasn't working by her pattern. So anyway, I'm done. I need to probably press it a little bit or just leave it here in my roller thing, and then we'll put it in a picture frame And when Habitat for Humanity has their presentations, I think we're doing 3 of these by June. And then we're supposed to do 6 more, I think, by the end of the year. So I'm hoping that other people in our guild will volunteer to take. I think it'll be a lot easier with this pattern that we developed last week. But we had a good time just getting together and eating out, and Applebee's
Yeah,
does not
sounds like
open
you were
until
all over
noon.
the place.
Yeah, and then we went over to Christine's house and sat there and worked on that, and there we go.
Wild.
Nice.
So, and that's the part I think I showed you. I mean, that's my serging on my sewing machine too, down the sides and everything. See, I got it working. So, and Fritzy's still able to get up there and make the latch on the door rattle, even with the sewing machine up there on the desk. He, you know.
Of course.
Well, I moved it further over on the desk, left the lid on it and stuff, moved it over so he couldn't get onto the desk. So I just heard him in there. He was just jumping. You could tell he was jumping from the floor up to this latch to hit it because he wasn't hitting it as consistently. So I just might as well move the sewing machine back. So because he's going to leap this whole time. So that's what I've got there. That's it.
Yeah, that looks great.
It was wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful
I'm
job.
proud
Lily.
of it. I'm glad it
Yeah,
turned
and
out.
I'll definitely stitch one later on in the year.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
You might even be able to convince somebody else to do
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That would be nice. The gentleman at Habitat for Humanity, Maumee Valley Habitat, told Carol Ann that he thought next year they might need 17 of them. And she was
Okay.
like, I don't know if that'll be possible or not, but this worked up really quickly. And I think, to be honest, if we have the pattern and it's already made out, then Christine can add the names easily and just send somebody could sit here and stitch these, and then all we would need is the name part to add in, and that's going to be consistently at the same place on the pattern. So, you know, we could get a bunch of these made and then just go back and stitch in somebody's name.
yeah, I think we'll be okay. We'll
I
get it.
thought so too. I think it's something we could do, and then we'll see if we're going to be able to do Make-A-Wish anymore. We don't know, but we've done the Make-A-Wish things for years, for a long time. So there you go. That's it.
That's
Plus
awesome.
for the guild.
So Sean, what have you started and finished? You've got 2 of them, I see.
Yeah, I do. I've been in the stitcher pattern lately. So I found this pattern. Where did we find this pattern?
It's a who's it by?
Barbara Anna. This
Aha!
time. Yeah, I got it right.
A Barbara Anna pattern from Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. I'm not sure which issue, and I totally can't remember the name. But it's distinctive enough. You look through those magazines, you'd be able to find it.
Yeah, so I had a lot of fun with this one because I just thought it kind of like attuned to my personality, which is like wacky. So here it is. It is, I call it, it's Alice in Wonderland meets Land of the Lost. So you've got this old prehistoric bird.
I asked him how his creepy man is going.
Yeah, and this creepy man in this top hat and this wacky red hair with what looks like a bag or a basket of eggs, apples.
Apples, I
some sort
think,
of-
and pears, probably.
Apples.
Yeah.
Yeah, bird eggs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I decided to make it into a nice pillow, actually.
Yeah.
And I've never made anything ever into a pillow, but
You didn't make this into a pillow either.
All right. I did not make this into a pillow, but somebody did help me and did
You decided it needed to be a pillow, correct?
I decided it didn't need to be a pillow.
Okay. I like that.
Anyways,
Same
no.
colors.
You
No,
gotta earn those things.
I've got to earn them. Yes. So I had really, anyways, I did do the whole entire pattern. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one just because I like doing the the coloration in the front here.
You really like the Quaker.
Thank you. The Quaker pattern was different, and I'm not really usually like about those kind of designs, but I had a really good time with it. And this one went really quick for me. I probably started this.
About a week.
Yeah, it was about a week, about
Yeah.
2 weeks or so, I guess. I really got it done really. So yeah,
I like it.
so
I
my
like the
first
colors on
pillow
the back too. Now,
Oh,
what's the
yeah.
fabric on the front? Because it's got some coloring in it as well.
Yeah, it's not really showing up.
It's
kind of
It's
a
got like
bluish.
some dark-ish, like
Yeah.
washed out blue and some
Mhm.
brown.
Yeah.
And this
see?
is a Fortnite fabric ornament size that I gotten, so no named.
Mhm.
We'll put a picture in it, and then you'll really be able to see because it's like kind of washed. There you go, kind
Yeah.
of.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
neat.
I
Okay.
think
That's the screenshot. We're just like trying
Yeah.
to hide the fabric.
Yeah.
But then this is pre-quilted fabric from Joann's. I had this as a remnant from a bag that I had made. One of my first bags, which we have a video for that on the channel. I think it's called like Project Bag Fail. So my new ones are much, much better than the one that this fabric went to.
I think I'm going to have to ask her to do one for me, y'all. I'm going to have to consign a consignment. That's what it would be. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
But I bought some dark blue pom-poms trim to go up on here, and I just haven't had a chance to sew it on.
Oh, okay.
Because
looks
over
fine.
here I
Yes.
like hand stitched that part together
Uh-huh.
and it bothers me. So I bought the pom-poms and we'll figure it out.
Do the pom-poms have, is it like a band that you can, what I'm wondering is, are they the kind of pom-poms you put in and you stitch it along with the,
Yeah, but you
Um,
can what I had done on my turkey pillow, you can cut that band off and you can
Okay.
just like
stitch
almost
it?
like basket
Okay.
stitch it
Yeah.
onto there, and so then you won't be able to tell.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
It'll
in the
work. I just
future-
gotta find the time.
In the future, what you do is pin them to one of the sides of the pillow, and then you can just stitch them at the same time.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
have it.
Well, I know
but
you didn't. You weren't at that point yet with the stuff. That looks nice. I think it looks nice just like that too. I'll be curious to see it with the pom-poms.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
creepy man.
Creepy man on a prehistoric bird.
Yep.
And
Like this eyeball, man. That's
I,
just
this
like
is different, I normally don't see this kind of pattern. So I'm like, I've got to stitch it. I got to stitch it. So
You've come a long way, both of you.
yeah, the
Yeah.
past few months I've been really
Yeah.
just
And Sean's really,
immersed in the stitching world,
yeah.
It's just really calm for me, especially like lately with everything that's going on, just not being around my phone, putting it away, and just like doing something that doesn't really take much, thought. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's funny. Like I won't be able to get a hold of him, and then finally he'll text me back, and I was like, "Oh, where were you? What were you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I was stitching."
just stitching.
See, and that's what I listen to books on my phone. I will be sitting with it right beside me, but I'm listening to an audio book. Yeah. But
Me
Fawn,
too.
you've come a long way too with all your project bags, and I really wasn't saying you had to make me one, but I will.
Oh no, I already planned on it. I'm just
Oh,
waiting
you
for
had, okay.
unless you find, and I also need to buy more zippers, but unless you have fabric you specifically want me to use, then once I find something,
I'll even
figure it
take
out.
something made out of flannel. I don't mind flannel.
The flannel bags, they're really nice. I think once you like feel it in person, you'll be like, oh, I do
No,
want
I like flannel. You're talking to somebody that had a bunch of flannel, what are they? Well, shoot, nightgowns, just lots of them. Those lanes, the ones that you can get from Vermont Country Store and stuff. They're wonderful flannel ones, but I gave them away. They get too hot.
Yeah, I can see how that would
LANZ.
be.
Winter
But
on.
But they're wonderful in the really cold winter. A flannel nightgown's just wonderful. Yeah,
Mm.
Mhm.
I'm a believer of flannel. I'm sorry. Show us what else you were going to show.
All right. In my last finish,
Last finish.
yeah, it's actually really different for me.
It's also a start because you haven't showed it on here.
That's true. I have actually not shown this
Oh.
pattern. but
Okay.
I already got it done. So this is called Hickety Pickety. And it is,
By Brenda Gervais with
Yeah.
the needle.
yes.
Mhm.
So this is what I have.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, so you have your big rooster,
Yeah.
and you have all your little hens at the bottom here.
Yeah.
They're sprawled out throughout. And then you've got this witch who
Yeah.
is on a basket, or I should say a chariot of pumpkins.
Chariot.
Chariot. I couldn't think of it, but yeah, I've this one took me about
like that.
3-4 weeks.
Mhm.
So you can see the individual stitches
Yeah.
throughout with the vines and the leaves and stuff. And this one actually went really fast for me. I really
I love it.
I love it
You got
too.
Colors,
fancy
Sean.
floss.
Yeah.
Fancy floss this
Oh,
time. I'm telling you, that week's dye works is something else. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was really different for me. Like normally I don't stitch like some of the patterns that are, I guess how you would say it, more like neutral colors, but I really had a good time with this one. This
I
one
like
went
the
really
colors
fast.
in that.
And I'm proud of myself because I'm not a big person on the French knots, but
Yeah.
the eyes of these
Yep.
little hens, I think I
Very
did a
good.
pretty good job of doing. See if I can find another one. Yeah, right there. So
Yeah, he did every single one of them on his own. I didn't even know he was like on the French knot stage.
yeah.
So that was really cool.
So I know it's not a big deal to a lot of people, but I was like,
Well,
I did
actually,
those French
in
knots.
the cross stitch community, it is a pretty big deal. A lot of people explicitly ignore and run away from French knots. So
Yeah.
you're doing great. I did want to share that in the rooster, he had run out of fancy floss.
Mhm.
And so what we did was we started, which could be a trick for anybody. He was just about to run out. And so we found a DMC color that kind of matched. And we did one strand of fancy floss, one strand of the DMC.
Yeah.
And he continued to stitch that in the same way. And so then once the fancy floss ran out, he went just to the DMC. And you really can't tell down in here where the difference was.
No, you
So
can't.
if you run out and you don't want to go get more floss, or you can't get more floss because you're on a deadline, like just try the DMC trick right
Yeah.
before you run out, one strand of each, and I think it really made a difference here.
I think so too.
Yeah. Well, it gives some more depth to the rooster.
Exactly.
And then I'm going to show your back.
Okay.
So I just wanted to like give him some kudos on the back here. So when he stitched his owl, which was one of his very first ones, you like
Oh,
could
God.
shake that thing and it wasn't moving because there was so much floss built up
Okay.
on the
A
back.
half-inch thickness on going on that one.
It's its own hoop. But this one, like, look at that.
Wow.
You can see
Yeah.
the exact lines that he was stitching because he was doing these each cross one at a
Mhm.
time in the rooster. And so
Very
I wanted to give
nice.
you some kudos there.
I'm gonna pat myself on
You
the back for that
should.
one.
You should. You
I
should.
should have had the owl there to compare the two.
Really though.
Could like drop it, it goes.
Mhm.
But yeah, so those are my
FFOs. Well, not
Well,
FFOs, but my FOs, I should say. So
Yes.
I was having a little bit of fun the past couple of weeks with those two.
Good
ones.
job. Good
Yeah,
job.
thank you.
So I have a start to finish, and Sean and my parents are the only ones who've seen this. I haven't showed Marianne yet. I don't even think I told you I started on it, but I got out for my Mania start this weekend. It was Into the Woods by, I think her name is Anna or Amy, but it was a pattern in Inspiration Studios magazines. I had ordered the kit from them maybe about a year ago or so, and I was too intimidated to start it. Started it this weekend, finished it last night.
Oh my goodness. Oh my. This is
No.
only Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
look at
Into the
that.
Woods.
Yeah, that's just.
Oh, Fawn.
See.
That is so sweet.
So
Isn't that
this is
cool?
a stump work pattern. I
Yeah.
had to stitch the butterfly wings all separately with a bit of like almost flower wire,
Yeah.
really, really thin. And you tack that down onto your fabric. You stitch within the wire and then you cut out the wings, or in my case, the wings, whatever you're stitching. A lot of people use that with like flower petals and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's really scary to cut your stitching out and like hope it's not going to fall apart. But it turned out it was actually really easy. I was very surprised at how easy it was to stitch those wings. And because it's embroidery, each step is really small, and so it goes really fast. And so it's actually a pincushion. So there's the top of it. And I'll try to get
I love it.
close. Let's see.
Very nice. You
And
did
I took some
wonderful.
photos outside so I'll put those at the end and you can really see the color.
Yeah.
But this was wild to stitch. It's using wool felt, and so I had to hold just this strip of wool felt and get these. These are called needle woven bars or peacoat stitches, and so some of them use 2 strands, some of them use 4 strands. I found that the 2 strands, when you see this up close, you can tell where I started on one end of the wool felt and got to the end, because the first ones are really, really bad. And by the time I had done probably 30 or 40 of these ferns, I could do that peacoat no problem. And yeah, I found I like the 2 bar a lot better than the 4 bar. I think they just look nicer, and I'd rather put two 2 bars together instead of 2 4 bars. So here's an example of a 4 bar. You can see how it's a lot wider. Right next to it is a 2 bar.
Okay.
And the 2 bar just like, it just looks nicer.
Yeah. Very
but
nice.
it used silk from Australia. It used DMC. It used an Australian version of DMC. Pearl cotton, and lots of felt. And the inside of the stump that's holding it together is a piece of plastic that you had to cut out. And you glue the felt to it, and then you blanket stitch the 2 edges of the felt together around the plastic. And that's also what you do down here. So here is a piece of like 2 pieces of comic board almost that you have to blanket stitch the wool around.
Very nice.
And for size, the butterfly is smaller than my point of view.
There you go.
So I am so pleased. The second I finished this, I went on the Inspirations magazine website and started looking at all the other stump work stuff that I thought was really, really unattainable, but now I feel like I can probably do it. So I haven't ordered yet. I'm sure I will. But yeah, I'm excited. So I have one more embroidery project kitted, ready to go, and that's another stump work piece. So I'm very excited now to get to it, because I feel like I've had some practice.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Very
Just so
nice.
much detail in such a small project. I was really amazed. I was like, wow, that's really, really good. A lot of detail.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be like so hard, and it really wasn't. So you can do it. Try it. So that's all our finishes. Now, Paul, did you get anything the last couple weeks?
I did, and it's in the other room, but I can tell you what it is. I got some more stretcher bars to do my Gay Ann Rogers hearts. So I can have, I've got 4 sets now. A set, 4 some, because it's 4 hearts, and that way I just want to get them all on there. And then I bought what you have, the thing for putting the tacks onto the stretcher bars. I went out and bought the set, and it's got the nice wooden knob and then the thing for lifting it too and stuff. So I said, well, this is copying fine, but I went out and bought that too.
No,
so
copy
no, I was glad. I was glad you showed it, because I thought, okay, I'll get that. So I had to wait. They only had 2 sets of stretcher bars, so they had to get some more in. And so I bought a lot of stretcher bars. They're just little ones, But that
Yeah.
was my haul.
Yeah, well, that's exciting because now you can start working on those hearts.
Yeah, yeah. So there you go.
How about I'll show these, and then what Sean has to show is charts. But since we went to the store together, maybe we'll show charts off and on. So this came in today, a project bag, and it's by LitJoy Crate, and it's teeny tiny, but it is a Harry Potter inspired bag. And so what it says is Mr. and Mrs. Dursley, 4 Privet Drive, Little Winning, Surrey. And it is supposed to be a replica of the piece of mail that Molly Weasley sent to the Dursleys. And she, in the book, she had covered the whole thing in stamps and asked at the end of the letter, was like, oh, I hope that was enough postage. I didn't know how much to put on, which totally embarrasses the Dursleys. But I thought it was super cute.
Yeah.
And I told Sarah about it, and she, I think, went and bought it immediately.
Oh,
So,
cute.
which
I
is
like
good
that.
because she got me to buy a Harry Potter bag, and that's not here yet. So I was like, okay, well, I have to enable her back. It can't be a one-way street here.
Right.
So Sarah, I hope you bought this bag. And then the next couple things I have are bags that I made that I don't have a project in them yet. First is, again, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
So I have the castle and the phoenix.
Ooh.
So I made 6 bags all at once. And
Yeah, she was on a roll
I did
that
them
weekend.
step by step.
Yeah.
So I did like the zipper step first for all 6 bags. And then I like started to attach them for all 6. And that really helped instead of having to do like each step one at a time.
Yeah.
And I think it went faster that way.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
The whales,
Fish. Yeah, the whales and such. Yeah.
and the inside has more whales.
Yeah.
This is another one of the flannels. And then Marianne knows I've been sort of coveting this fabric since I bought it and didn't know what to do with it because I didn't want to mess it up. But I finally made my octopus bag. And I'm obsessed with that fabric. I love it
Yep.
so much. And the inside I made really fun.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that cool?
So I've got the octopus in there, whales, sharks, sea turtles, all the things. And it's just sort of surprising because this looks pretty muted and then bam. So that was really fun for me. And then my color and cotton fabric of the month came in. I should have took it out of the bag first. So this is April's. If you haven't gotten yours yet, then just skip ahead like a minute. The first one is Succulent, and it's a really nice gray color, which looks kind of green here, but I promise
Yeah,
it's gray.
It's great.
Okay.
And the second one is Blue Poppy.
Whoa.
And I think it's even brighter than it's showing up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Wow.
really, really bright. So both
Nope.
of those are 32 count. And I think their Fabric of the Month Club is still on a wait list. But if you're interested in the Stitch Me Fabric of the Month Club, she made a post the other day that she does have some openings. Might be filled. Hopefully not if you're interested. But I really like the Be Stitch Me fabric as well if anybody's interested. So then, because we went to the stitching shop the Friday right after we filmed, Sean and I got a bunch of fabric and a
Yeah,
bunch
we
of
did.
charts. We got some more Q-snaps, got a chart clip so that we each have one now, and so somebody stopped stealing mine. But I'm only going to show a little bit of the fabric. I'm not going to show everything. This is just sort of some of our favorites. And this one is an 18 count Ada by Jew Design. It's like very, that's kind of it. It's like almost scarecrowy type fabric. So that one we thought was really cool. She had some remnant packs, And it was, I think, $7.50 for a whole pack of remnant fabrics, just various sizes if they were hand dyed, and $5 if they weren't hand dyed.
We're still doing
And
it.
so this one is 28 count hand dyed remnant pack. And so we've got some greens, some purples, all sorts of stuff. And so some of them are bigger than ornament size, some of them are smaller. And this is from Just Stitching Inc. out just outside Cleveland, Ohio.
Strongsville, Ohio.
Yeah. And she said that she had a lady call her and say she just wanted to up her stash. What remnants do you have? And so she read off some of the colors and the counts and then just shipped to the woman without her ever seeing all of the packs. So if you're interested in remnant counts, you could definitely call her. She has like really high sizes, really low sizes. And you can get some ornament sizes that you wouldn't be able to order from 123 Stitch or anything else. This one I grabbed by accident, but I'm actually really happy that I have it. It's 35 to 40 count fabrics, and they're hand dyed. So her light is really bright today, but there's some blues and pinks and like taupes in there. This one is 14 count Ada, and so we've got some reds, some like blue sparkle.
Sparkly.
Which honestly, this is the only reason I bought this pack. Like the other ones will be fine, but that one is really nice.
It's a very deep blue.
I thought that was something Sean might grab.
Oh, yeah, I was looking at him like, there should be something
Maybe a
that goes with
Barbara
that.
Anna.
Maybe a Barbara Anna, you never know.
And so then this one I couldn't leave sitting there. It wasn't a remnant, but it's Week Dye Works. It's 30 count chartreuse. And oh my goodness,
It is
Wow.
very bright neon.
it's even brighter than it's showing there.
Yeah,
It's like
do it justice.
it's like highlighter green. It's wonderful. Which maybe no,
Yeah.
you'll never know. But it's highlighter.
Yeah.
And then the last thing before we get to our charts, we had gone to a thrift store, and I totally can't remember the name of it, but in the thrift store, they had a needlework box, and I bought it.
Oh,
So this is whoever had it before me stitched this. The box looks pretty old. There's no date or anything, so I'm gonna
Mhm.
assume this is vintage. So here's my
yeah,
contribution.
here's the
to
vintage.
But this was done in needlepoint.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this piece out and I'm going to replace it with maybe my pansy piece. I stitched a sunflower a while back, but this is too big, and I think the pansy might just fit. And if it doesn't, I'll add a little extra border or something to make it fit in here. But the back is like a really nice velvet. It's not stained at all. And then even the box is really nice.
Nice. Yeah.
So I know these sell for a lot of money online.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very pleased to find this. And then of course, every color sticker except for the one that was on this was 50 or 25% off. And so I was like, is there any chance that for right in this moment, this orange sticker can have a discount? And it was sort of a consignment shop thrift shop. And so he looked at the name on it. He's like, oh, actually, she is having a sale. So I got this box for maybe $7 or
Oh, good.
$7.50.
Yeah.
So I was very pleased.
Yeah. Well, and that's a pretty monogram too. The V.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I have anybody with V in my life to give
No.
this to.
It's still a pretty one, just a
Turn it upside down, make it an A.
Right.
yeah.
I was so excited to find that. I was like, Sean, do you know how much these cost? He's like, I don't know.
I don't know.
He's like, if you want it, you want it. I was like, oh, I need it.
All right, then you need it.
What do you think you'll put in it? Threads or scissors or?
I don't know. Maybe make it a jewelry box or
Yeah, that would be nice too. Yeah.
we'll see. We'll figure it
Yeah.
out. We always need a box.
Right. Of course. Of course.
So do you want to like switch off on charts? And you could start with that one.
Yeah, so this is the one that Fawn started on. that we had agreed that, yeah, I'll stitch the other half.
Uh-huh.
So this is by Tiny Modernist. The Unicorn Tapestry is the pattern. So it's a very full pattern. Like, have to wait to see it.
A lot of confetti.
A lot of confetti. You've got birds, facts, then the unicorns at the bottom here. You got a few motifs and some bunnies and stuff. So I think this is a wonderful pattern. I think Fawn did a fantastic job.
I did not finish my other half before I handed it off.
Well, what she got done is just phenomenal. Let's see if I can do this here.
I got most of the half.
I would say most of it. So this
Yeah.
is what she has finished. And it's the unicorn and then the trees as well. And we're coming down to the motifs.
Yeah.
So she's gotten at least half of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a pretty full pattern. So I'm going to finish the other half.
Maybe finish my half.
Maybe finish her half. But it's gonna be, something different for me because I'm not really used to stitching on that kind of color fabric and stuff like that. So I figured I'd get that done sooner or later. But
Yeah, so if
I don't
you
know.
have anybody in your life that you're sort of struggling through a pattern and you want to make it sort of like a round robin or a friendship piece or something like that, or if your husband stitches, just like throw that pattern at them. And what I did was I came up with a story about how cute it would be if like he stitched the other half, and then it could be like a resemblance of our love. So you could say like, oh, it'll be a resemblance of our friendship. If you love that pattern, but you're just like sick of it, that's definitely an option. Find a friend, both stitch it up. And then it could even be like Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, and you keep that pattern for a while in that fabric, and then they take it for a while, and you keep trading it back and forth. But you can figure it out.
See how she did that? She worked that in there.
All right, so then we're gonna go back and forth with the patterns that we got the other day at the stitch shop.
All right, so I'm going to start because I got more than her. I wasn't expecting to get many, but so the theme is I love animals. All right, this is called the Blue Flower, or by the Blue Flower, called Summer Squirrel. G.N. McGowan is the original artist of this pattern. So it is a squirrel riding a bicycle, and in the car it is.
You can show it on the back. There's
Yes.
a little picture.
A little picture of the. I want to say the tiny squirrel.
Baby squirrel
Baby squirrel
with a helmet.
with a helmet on.
And I
Yeah.
just love these patterns. Anything that like
It's a little
animals
weird.
performing human feats like riding bicycles, I'm all about. So
That's one that I got.
So then I got Plum Street Samplers Tomato Dane or Dame.
Yeah.
It's the little lady. She's got a sign that says 10 cents, and she's pulling a basket full of tomatoes, which I love.
And also by Plum Street Samplers, it's called Bigfoot Brunch. And I love it as well. It's just
Oh.
all right, welcome through. Sorry, the reflection on this bad, but there we go. Got some of the leaves.
Yeah.
Bigfoot right there.
There's a baby Bigfoot.
And as you can see, there's a baby Bigfoot. I don't know, sorry about the reflection. Right there.
Oh, okay. Peeking around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
looking around here.
Okay.
Not the plastic, but
That's okay.
yeah.
They're new charts. I don't want to give them.
Right.
So this one came out last year around Christmas time, and every time I went to the store, I could not find it. So I found it today, or not today, but when we went and had to buy it. So this is Mr. Marshmallow by Brenda Gervais, and it is the marshmallow, in the hot cocoa cup, and on the pattern, it's in the really bright, like green fabric. And so I think I might be brave and do it on the chartreuse that I showed.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that
Yeah.
And here's another one by Plum Street Samplers. And this one is called Snort Stack. So with the theme of animals on top of each other, you've got a bunch of big hogs standing on top of each other. So,
Very
yeah.
good.
Yep.
Show the pig on the back.
Oh, yes. There's a
Oh,
hog.
cool.
Yes. And here's oh, no facts of the day. So
No fun fact.
no fun facts. But animals standing on top of each other continued.
So then the next one I have is Barbara Anna, Santa's Trips. And
Nice.
it's got a bunch of different motifs in there and a
Mhm.
big old border. So you know
Uh-huh.
for sure I am not stitching that border.
Mom's
what-
favorite thing to do, borders.
And I'm going to take each one of those separately and make them into little ornaments.
Yeah.
And then just put those on our tree. And then I can avoid the border. I can have more ornaments. And then I don't necessarily have to stitch the ones with the buildings, but I can definitely stitch the ones that have the critters in it and maybe one of the buildings that stands out. So here's a close up of one of them on the back.
Yeah. Nice.
Your turn.
All right. And this one is
Sweater weather. So these are all
Plum Street samplers.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the continuation of the teeny weenies that I started.
Yes.
So this one, you have them in sweaters and you have a bunch of the motifs there. I love personally the little owl that's standing on the back of this teeny weenie.
Oh, I never noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's a bird on the other one.
And then there's a bird on the other one. So as you
Yeah.
can see,
You can't get away from stitching birds.
And a
I
bird
really-
up on the word sweater. Did you see the one up on the sweater?
yep, right up on
Word,
top
yeah.
of the lettering. So teeny weenies continue.
So then this one is Lindy Stitches, and it's Mr. Delicious and Mrs. Delicious.
Oh, cute. Yeah.
And I just love it. Like, who would have thought? This guy's little top hat. She's got like her Martha Washington hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
And just when you thought that the teeny weenies were not done having fun, nope, we got ugly sweater weather, and they're just the Christmas tree. That's
So
right.
I totally thought these were weasels. And then when we saw the other teeny weeny charts, I was like, oh, they're definitely teeny weenies.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So I'm gonna try to collect one for every holiday that there is. We've got
You
winter.
should.
Coming out with more teeny weenies.
That's right. Hopefully.
Make a
So
quilt
much.
out of them.
Right.
Yeah. So
Then you'll
then
have
my
more
last
smalls.
one- Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So my last one is a Jelly Bean Jubilee by Brenda Gervais. And it is the one that has a bunch of different ones for the dough bowl. And so there's like the Easter, there's the chick and the tulips, and there's also three
Oh,
more in the
wow.
back.
Nice.
So I think it's come with 7 different Easter themed smalls. So I know I won't get them all done by next year, but maybe I can at least have one of them done.
So
And if I
how
do
long-
this, sure, it should go pretty quick because it's just letters.
yeah. How long were you in the shop?
3 hours.
About 3 hours. Yeah.
We drove 2 hours there, 2 hours back, and spent 3 hours in the shop.
Yeah. It was some time. Yeah, I believe that is actually the one that is the one for the birds, Brenda Gervais. Now that I'm thinking about it.
No, it's not.
No, okay.
It's
well,
like Vana something.
Yes.
Oh,
Well, never mind that.
Piper.
Good try.
Good try.
So-
All right. So I've got 2 more patterns to show. This one is called Vampire, and it is by Satsuma Street by Jody Rice. So
this is
Oh,
the
my.
keeping up with the Halloween pattern. As you can see here with the vampire kitty.
And so this was a full kit. It comes with the black perforated paper
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and all of the threads and beads if you want to show that.
As
Yeah.
well.
Oh, wow.
Correct.
Wally
So-
all dressed up for Halloween, huh?
Exactly.
I'll have to add a couple gray stripes in here, and then it'll definitely be Wally. You have to do
That's right.
We'll definitely do that.
proceed.
Proceed. And the last one that I have is also Halloween pattern is Halloween Quaker. Lila Studio is what it's called, by Lila Studio. And this is a full pattern as well.
Wow.
And I figured you saw all of the Quaker designs and I really enjoy them. I really enjoy stitching. I didn't think I would, but you've got all different motifs. You've got the skeletons here,
Yeah.
kitties, some crows, and then the witch with the moon. So
Cool.
yeah,
So this is the one. I wanted to see this stitch. I've been watching
Yeah.
Michelle Bendy and some others stitch this one. I think Gary from Gary on Stitchery and Sunshine Stitchers is also working on this.
yes.
But me and Quakers, we don't get along. It's like the borders. And so I was like, well, I'm never going to be able to have this pattern. And it prints on a lot.
He liked it, huh?
So I was like, oh, Sean just said he likes Quakers. And the second he told me he likes Quakers and that bird, I was like, he's going to get that pattern.
Yep.
So we went to the shop and they had it. And I was like, what do you think? He's like, oh, I like it. I was like, do you love it?
She's sneaky,
Yeah.
y'all, in case you haven't noticed. She's sneaky.
For good reason.
I took the hint.
I know.
I did. I do like it a lot.
And then when we got home, my Be Stitch Me Color of the Month Club had come in and it was perfect for this pattern. So he's going to stitch this on Be Stitch Me 28 count linen in the colorway Anemone.
Oh, yeah.
And so I
Cool.
think that's just the perfect light Halloween color. And since he has so much dark Quakers, they should really.
Yeah.
All right, that's all we bought.
And that's all we bought.
Whoa.
What do you mean that's all we bought?
It's really expensive to have two people in your family that like to stitch when you
Yeah.
go to a stitch shop. Because you could do some damage on your own, and then when you go with somebody else that's also coming out of the same bank account, it's
Mhm.
hard.
It's hard.
So
All
hard.
right.
So I guess all we have left is, do you have any vintage?
No, but yeah, a little bit here. I wanted to show off my earrings you made for me.
Oh, yes.
I mentioned them at the beginning. She says these are supposed to be koala looking things. I told her they reminded me of dogs too, but they're koala faces.
Yeah, they're Sutash earrings, and the
Right.
design by Amy Sweet McNamara
Yeah,
is called a koala face design.
right. And unfortunately, I do not have pierced ears. So
I
I am
totally
going to
forgot.
go to Joanne Fabrics or someplace and get you can replace these with these, and I'll give you back the ornaments there so you can use them on something else. But Fawn didn't realize, no, all the earrings I wear, they're all clip-on. The vintage, yeah.
As
Same.
soon as you said that your dad didn't want you to have any more holes in your head,
Right.
I was like, oh, I totally remember that conversation. But in the moment, I was just like, oh, Marianne likes earrings.
So I opened it up. It was on my door the other day, and I had this message, you've got something on your door. And I said, oh my, I wonder what this time. So I still have those magazines you loaned me to look through, and I looked through them already, but I'm going to have to look through them again too, just in case. And the vintage today would be, y'all, I do wear pearls a bunch, sometimes different lengths and stuff. These were some that were my Daddy's Aunt Violet and Uncle Bud. They lived in, I think I've mentioned them before, Paris, Kentucky. He worked for Procter & Gamble up in Cincinnati for many years. And Aunt Violet, I was there in 1978 attending the Southeastern Law Librarians get together for that summer. So I had never been to Lexington, Kentucky. Now I have been again. But Aunt Violet, I told them I was going to be in town because she would be my grand aunt. And she said, well, I'll come get you and you can spend the weekend with us, because the conference went for a few days. And then she said, you can come stay with us. and they lived out in Paris, Kentucky, which is just a suburb now of Lexington, but you're also in horse country, and all of that. So we sat down at the dinner table, and there was this box beside my plate, or in front of it, and she also had the dinner bell there, so I could ring the dinner bell for the lady that had come to cook the dinner for us, and she would know when to bring it in. But here was this box, and it had these pearls in it, and they are all the same size, and it's a strand of pearls that she had had for years, and she said, I thought you might like them. So I came home with a strand of pearls and also a silver tray, that you use to serve hors d'oeuvres on or something like that. So that's my vintage, because she had had them for a number of years. They are probably a more expensive costume pearls than they're not genuine, get right out of the ocean and stuff. But so when I want to wear something that's all the same this is my vintage, is the pearls from Aunt Violet. She lived to be in her 90s, I believe. She died right around not long after Joe and I got married, and that's been 28 years. But I remember calling her and telling her I was getting married and stuff. And she said, well, and will there be babies? I said, I don't think so. No. I was 43 at the time. I said, no, I don't think so, Aunt Violet. We have 2 cats and a dog. That was at that time, that was babies. But she was so sweet, and it was very nice. And they took me all around. We went out and saw, she used to ride in the hunt, where they would go out and get all dressed and they hunt the foxes, and stuff. They don't kill them, but they used to in England and everything. And I don't know whether they did or not here at that time. But anyway, so those are my vintage pearls today. No vintage stitching, just the pearls. And the earrings from my grandmother. I think y'all have seen these before, but since it's spring, these are the little earrings from my grandmother, my mother's mother, and they do clip on. Sometimes those pinch though, Well, it was always I worked as a secretary in different parts of my job and stuff like that. And even at the law school or the law library, you have to answer the phone, So you always just were able to take off your earring, answer the phone, and then put the earring back on. And there's a lot of times women that were wearing them, we would forget sometimes to put it back on, and we'd be walking around later in the day with just one earring on. So, but it's not easy to talk on the phone with the handset when you've got an earring on sometimes.
No, definitely. It's very uncomfortable. Yes. Especially when you have the hook ones and they start to poke in you. And...
Yeah, well, I appreciate these, and I will get the little things that make them where I can wear them. Yes. So thank you very much. That was very thoughtful of you.
So then the very last thing we have, if you made it all the way to the end, is our thank you to you. So as our viewers, our subscribers, our Stitchy friends, we are so honored and grateful that you subscribe to our channel, that you watch our videos, and that you hang out with us every couple weeks. And so as a thank you, we wanted to give away a whole year's worth of charts for a series. This is a vintage series because it's based on from 2000. And I'm going to go through and show each one. And of course, I didn't think of what we should use for the keyword or have a question. So as I'm going through, both of you kind of think about what we should do here. But if you win, you will get all 12 of these charts for the whole year-long series. And we hope you cherish them and love them. So these are by You and I and Friends, and it's a collection of small counted thread samplers. And let's see, they come with the chart. Some of them, they're all new. I didn't open each one to triple check that there was no stray marks, but if there is, totally sorry. But they should all have the charts in there. And from what I was feeling in the packages, because I didn't want to open them and check, it should have all of the buttons that go with each one of these charts. So the first one is January. February. March. I just love that sheep.
Mm.
April. And you can easily chart whatever year and here you want, or leave the year off completely. It'd be totally customizable. So just because it says 2000 doesn't mean anything. And that was May. June is cute. It's got a little cake.
Yep.
July. Which hopefully these are focusing. August. My dad would like that one. He used to be a beekeeper. September. October. Kind of, for me, I'm sure somebody would look at this Halloween one and think it's cute. This is the kind of thing I think is creepy. So I think the Leshy is cute. Or yeah, the Leshy is cute, and I think this one's creepy. Okay. So I don't know what that says about me, but you think that one's creepy or cute?
I think it's cute.
Yeah.
I think it's.
What about you, Marianne? Is it creepy?
It's
out?
cute.
Like, creepy. Look at those lips.
Botox.
November. And finally, December.
Okay.
So did you guys think, what should we use our keyword?
Well, I've been thinking, it's called U, and it's EWE, isn't it?
Yeah, like sheep.
Yeah, like sheep. You and I and friends. Something with the word friends, because we've made lots of friends through having this Flosstube that we're doing. And so if they can tell us something about one of their friends or what they and their friends do stitch-wise or something like that. Do they stitch with friends?
Or if you want a stitchy friend in your area. Yeah. So
because we do have our stitching friends across borders, Sal, which we've gotten 2 new members in recently, just in the last 2 days. So
so that is our Facebook group where once a month Marianne hosts a Zoom. Sometimes I'm able to make it, and have a bunch of people that watch her channel. It started when we were all stitching. Well, not me. I included myself there.
Right.
When they were stitching the Susan B. sampler that Marianne showed together. And then it sort of just transformed into, now it's a way for us to get together once a month. You can be stitching on anything you want. It's really just a chance for us to interact with you in a way that we can't do on our Flosstube. So the information from that is down below. So use the word for, if you want to win all 12 of these charts with the buttons, use the word friend, not plural, not friendship, just friend. That's the word I'll search for. Usual giveaway things, spiel that we have to say applies. So you must be 18 so you can give us your address. Don't use the word giveaway, win, any of those sorts of things, because then the bots come. And I think that's it. I'm sure if you've watched any other Flosstube video before, you know the drill. So on that note, we're so grateful you're here. We're so happy to be able to make these videos and have an audience that we love and that enjoys our content. And we'll see Sean eventually when I can convince him to come back. And Marianne and I will be here in 2 weeks. So
bye y'all.
Bye.